फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम टू माय यूट्यूब चैनल टैक्स मुनीम। दोस्तों, आज हम इस वीडियो में डिस्कस करने जा रहे हैं न्यू स्कीम ऑफ रीअसेसमेंट एंड असेसमेंट इन सर्च एंड सीजर केसेस। रिसेंटली फाइनेंस एक्ट 2021 ने जो स्कीम है 147 की रीअसेसमेंट की एंड सर्च एंड सीजर अंडर सेक्शन 153A वो कम्प्लीटली रिप्लेस कर दी है विद द न्यू स्कीम ऑफ रीअसेसमेंट, और उसी में ही आपका रीअसेसमेंट एंड असेसमेंट सर्च एंड सीजर की प्रोसीडिंग्स को भी इंक्लूड कर दिया है। तो इस वीडियो में हम डिस्कस करेंगे कि क्या प्रोसीजर है अब नया असेसमेंट रीअसेसमेंट का, क्या उसमें चेंजेस किए हैं, कौन से न्यू सेक्शन इंसर्ट किए हैं, और फिर उन सेक्शन को हम डिस्कस करेंगे डिटेल में। तो आइए स्टार्ट करते हैं अपना डिस्कशन। So what is the assessment procedure under the new provisions? So I have bifurcated this in two parts, in non-search cases and search cases. So we will discuss the non-assessment procedure under the new provisions in case of non-search cases. So first of all, while proceeding for reassessment under section 147, the assessing officer first of all has to see whether the information is flagged on the basis of risk management strategy formulated by the CBDT or CAG final audit objection. Means actually, according to the new procedure, the assessment proceeding can be initiated only on the basis of information. And what is the information? Information is the information flagged by CBDT under the RMS, which is the risk management strategy, and CAG final audit objection in respect of any assessment. So these provisions are contained under section 148. So we will discuss this in detail also. We are just running thoroughly. So what is the assessment procedure under the new set of sections? So once the information is flagged, the next step is to make inquiry under section 148A. So now the assessing officer is required to make the inquiry under section 148A on the basis of information under section 148. So on the basis of that information, he will make the inquiry and provide the opportunity of being heard to the assessee. He will serve the notice to the assessee and ask him for the information and provide him the opportunity. After that, the assessing officer will pass an order that whether it is a fit case for reassessment or not, and that order is required to be passed within the prescribed time frame. Further, once the order is passed, then the assessing officer is required to take the approval from the superior authority, which is prescribed under section 151 of the Act. So once the approval is obtained from the superior authority, he can issue notice under section 148 asking the assessee to file return of income, and along with the notice he is also required to serve the order which he has passed under section 148A. So 148A में जो असेसिंग ऑफिसर ने ऑर्डर पास किया है वो उसको नोटिस जो वो देगा 148 में उसके साथ ही सर्व करना है. तो दैट इज अ कंडीशन which is mentioned under section 148. So notice जो issue होगा वो within the time allowed under section 149 ही होगा, which is 3 and 10 years. So after issuing the notice, if anything comes to the notice of the assessing officer that whether there is a new issue which was not included in the information at the initial stage, but which comes to his notice during the course of proceeding, then he can also include that in his reassessment proceedings, and for that he is not required to follow the procedure under section 148, means make an inquiry or pass an order, etc. So he can straight away include that in the assessment proceedings. So after that he will pass an order under section 147 within the time frame under section 153 of the Act. Further, in case of directions of an appellate authority under section 150 सेक्शन इसी सेक्शंस में इंक्लूड है और इसमें कोई चेंज नहीं है. अगर उस सेक्शन के अकॉर्डिंग कोई डायरेक्शंस कोई अपीलेट अथॉरिटी अपने ऑर्डर में देती है then there is no time limit under section 149 for issue of notice under section 148. लेकिन वो जो इंफॉर्मेशन है, वो जो डायरेक्शंस हैं, वो CBDT को फ्लैग करनी होगी in the RMS of such SSC. Then only the reassessment proceeding can be initiated and notice under section 148 can be issued. And the assessing officer in that case also is required to follow the procedure which is mentioned under section 148 to 153. तो फ्रेंड्स, हमने ये एक बार बड़ा ब्रीफली डिस्कस कर लिया है कि क्या प्रोसीजर रहेगा न्यू रीअसेसमेंट प्रोसीडिंग्स में, कैसे उसको हमें भी पता एज ए एसएससी या चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स वी शुड आल्सो नो दैट व्हाट विल the procedure and what steps the assessing officer is required to follow. Then only we will be able to defend our case. So these are the assessment procedure in non-search cases. In case of search cases, where the search is conducted under section 132 or requisition is made under section 132A, or if there is a survey under section 133A on or after 1st April 2021. Further, where money or bullion, jewelry, etc. seized or requisitioned in case of any other person on or after 1st April 2021 and which belongs to the assessee. Further, where books or documents or any information contained therein seized or requisitioned in case of any other person on or after 1st April 2021 and which pertains to the assessee. अगर ये सिचुएशन आपकी है, अगर ये प्रोविजंस के अंडर फॉल हो रहा है, मीन्स द केसेस pertains to search, seizure or survey. In that cases, the assessing officer will be deemed to have information for 3 years preceding the year of search, survey or seizure etc. So in cases में their assessing officer को माना जाएगा कि उसके पास ऑलरेडी एक इंफॉर्मेशन है फॉर 3 years. सो इस केसेस में ना तो CBDT की इंफॉर्मेशन वो फ्लैग होनी चाहिए RMS में, वो रिक्वायरमेंट इस केसेस में नहीं है, सर्च के केसेस में नहीं है. 3 सालों के लिए ये माना जाएगा कि असेसिंग ऑफिसर के पास इंफॉर्मेशन है और वो स्ट्रेट अवे अपनी नोटिस इशू कर सकता है 148 में. हाउएवर इन केस ऑफ सर्वे, अगर सर्च सीजर आपका होता है या रिक्विजिशन होती है या फिर किसी और एसएससी के यहाँ किसी और जो एसएससी है उसके डॉक्यूमेंट्स मिलते हैं, उन केसेस में सेक्शन 148 के जो प्रोसीजर है, मींस मेक एन इंक्वायरी एंड पास एन ऑर्डर आफ्टर प्रोवाइडिंग अपॉर्चुनिटी ऑफ बीइंग हर्ड टू द एसएससी, वो रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं है. हाउएवर इन केस ऑफ सर्वे देयर इज अ रिक्वायरमेंट टू फॉलो द प्रोसीजर अंडर सेक्शन 148A. सो ये हमने सर्च का केसेस डिस्कस किए, सर्च के केस डिस्कस किए. इसमें फर्दर जो असेसिंग ऑफिसर को आफ्टर वंस he is deemed to have information, then he is required to take approval as required under section 151 from the prescribed authority. After that he can issue notice under section 148 and that same has to be within the time limit allowed under section 149. So now the assessing officer is required to complete the assessment within the time limit prescribed under section 153. So these are the procedure in case of search cases. ये हमने जो ब्रीफ इसका डिस्कस किया है, क्या प्रोसीजर रहेगा पूरी असेसमेंट का, कैसे नोटिस इशू होगा, कब नोटिस इशू होगा और कब माना जाएगा कि असेसिंग ऑफिसर के पास इंफॉर्मेशन है, ये हमने सर्च केसेस का डिस्कस कर लिया. तो आइए अब हम डिस्कस करते हैं व्हाट इज द इंफॉर्मेशन. वो इंफॉर्मेशन हो क्या इंफॉर्मेशन है और किस बेसिस पे असेसिंग ऑफिसर एक्शन इनिशिएट कर सकता है. So meaning of information as per section 148. So information means particulars obtained from the third parties or due to change in facts or change in interpretation of law, and same has to be flagged by the CBDT under the risk management strategy followed by the CBDT. So अगर कोई भी इंफॉर्मेशन जो कि थर्ड पार्टी से है या फिर कोई भी फैक्ट्स चेंज हुए हैं उसकी वजह से कोई इंफॉर्मेशन आई है या कोई इंटरप्रिटेशन ऑफ लॉ है, कोई अपीलेट अथॉरिटीज ने किया है, चेंज इंटरप्रिटेशन की है, उस जो भी वो इंफॉर्मेशन है वो सीबीडीटी ने अगर रिस्क मैनेजमेंट स्ट्रेटेजी में फ्लैग की हुई है इंफॉर्मेशन, on the basis of that information assessing officer can initiate the action under section 148. So this include, so what is the information? This include information from investigation wing, other government authorities, means custom authorities, GST departments, DVAT departments, foreign countries. With the countries we have agreements for exchange of information relating to tax evasion, and SFT. SFT means specified financial transactions. So these returns are required to be filed by the various entities, post offices, banks, registrar authorities, mutual fund authorities, stock exchanges, in respect of various transactions. So according to if these returns, any information in respect of an assessee flagged by the CBDT and RMS, then on that basis the action can be initiated. Further, we have to keep in mind that information, presence of information with the assessing officer shall not be an amount to review by the assessing officer, means the assessing has no power to review. This has been held by various courts, even the apex court at various times, that the assessing officer has no power to review. So any information which results in review of an assessment which is already done, the assessment is already done, and on the basis of some information the assessing officer is reopening the case, and which amounts to review of the case, then in that case that information will not amount to information under section 148. Further, if any final objection raised by CAG, Comptroller and Auditor General of India, in relation to an assessment, means if any assessment is already completed under section 144 or 144, 143 or 147, and in respect of that assessment any objection is raised by the CAG, in that cases also that objection will amount to be information under section 148. Earlier the position was different. Any objection by the CAG may has been interpreted by the various court that it amounts to change of opinion. So in that cases the appellate authorities has not allowed the action of the assessing officer for reopening the case. So before going further, I need to discuss the what are the major differences under the new provisions and the old provisions which were there. So one of the major difference in the old and new provision is that earlier there was a term reasons to believe which was which was required to be recorded by the assessing officer before issuing any notice to the assessee. So this term was very litigative as it has been interpreted by the various court differently. However, in order to reduce the litigation, reasons to believe are replaced by information as mentioned under section 148 of the Act. So this is one of the major difference in the new set of provisions for reassessment and old provisions. Further, in the new provisions, it is specifically made mandatory to conduct inquiry, and which is a welcome provision. So it was disputed by various courts and assessee at various times that the assessing officer by way of issuing notice under section 140 makes only the roving inquiries, means he has some doubtful information on the basis of suspect he is issuing notices. So now the situation is different. The assessing officer has to conduct inquiry on the basis of information available with him and is required to provide the sufficient opportunity of being heard to the assessee, and then he has to pass the order before issuing any notice whether it is a fit case for reopening assessment or not. Then only he can initiate the action under section 148. So these procedure was missing in the earlier provisions, and which is a very good move by the lawmakers. So in the new set of provisions, search and seizure assessments are also included. Earlier there were section 153A, 153B, C and D. So in case of search and seizure cases, the assessment was required to be completed under those sections. However, under the new law, all the assessment in case of search and seizure and survey also are required to be completed under these provisions only. Further, under the new set of provisions, there is no distinction between already assessed cases under section 143, 144 or 147 of that and first time cases. Means there is no separate provision for 144, 143 3 assessment and 147 assessment. Earlier, in the case of reopening of already assessed cases, there should be failure on the part of assessee to truly and fully disclose the material facts for assessment where the reopening related to period exceeding 4 years. So in these cases also there were varied disputes by the assessee at various appellate form. So now the this has been removed and only distinction in the new provisions is 3 years and 10 years. So which will we will study in the upcoming slides. So after 148, there is a section 148A. This is regarding procedure to be followed for conducting inquiry before issuing notice under section 148. So on the basis of information available with the assessing officer under section 148, he has to conduct an inquiry, and before passing an order he has to provide an opportunity of being to the assessee, and once he has heard the assessee and after going through the documents submitted by him, he shall pass an order, and whether the it is a fit case for issue of notice or not, and he is required to serve the copy of this order passed under this section along with the notice under section 148. So provisions of this section means section 148A are not applicable on search and seizure cases. However, this will be applicable in case of survey proceedings. So in case of search, seizure, requisition or bullion, jewelry, documents, information obtained from the search and seizure of some other person in case of and which pertains to the assessee are also covered under this. So in those cases, the assessing officer is not required to follow the procedure under section 148A. However, in the case of survey only, the assessing officer is required to follow this procedure, means issue notice for conducting inquiry, provide opportunity, and then pass order whether it is a fit case for issue of notice or not. So the next section is 149. So there are also very good amendments in this section also. Under the earlier provisions, there were 3 time limits: 4 years if the income escaping assessment is not exceeding rupees 1 lakh, more than 4 years but not 7 years in case of income exceeding rupees 1 lakh, and in 16 years in case of income escaping assessment from the assets located outside India. So now the time limit have been categorized under 2 sections. One is 3 years and one is 10 years. So generally no notice under section 148 can be issued after the expiry of 3 years from the end of relevant assessment year. In case of evidence of income escaping 50 lakh rupees or more with the which is available with the assessing officer, no notice under section 148 shall be issued after the expiry of 10 years from the end of relevant assessment year. So there are only 2 time limits which are prescribed under the new provisions. Further, under the new provisions, there is a safeguard provision provided in respect of assessment year 2021 or earlier years. No notice under the new provisions can be issued if no notice could have been issued at that time on account of the same being beyond the time limit of 4 years or 7 years as the case may be. So अगर कोई केस सपोज असेसमेंट ईयर 12-13 का है, असेसमेंट ईयर का है, एज पर द न्यू प्रोविजंस 10 ईयर्स तक नोटिस, अगर 50 लाख रुपए से ऊपर की इविजन है तो नोटिस इशू किया जाता है 10 ईयर्स तक, मीन्स मार्च 23 तक नोटिस इशू किया जाता है. हाउएवर ड्यू टू दिस प्रोविजो क्योंकि इसका जो नोटिस इशू करने की ओल्ड प्रोविजन में टाइम लिमिट थी वो थी 31 मार्च 2019. सो ड्यू टू provisions due to old provisions, the notice cannot be issued after 31st March 2019 in respect of assessment year 12-13. Further, if any period or extended period allowed for providing opportunity of being heard or stay of proceedings before issuance of notice under section of 148 shall be excluded from such time limit, and minimum 7 days shall be allowed to the assessing officer for issue of such notice. Means अगर assessing officer ने कोई extension time दिया है for providing of opportunity of being heard to the assessee, or if there is any stay of proceeding in respect of issue of notice under section 148, then that period should be excluded from the time limit mentioned under section 149. And after the exclusion of that time limit, the assessing officer should have minimum 7 days available with him to issue any notice under section 148. Further, provisions of this section, means section 149, shall not apply to proceedings under section 153A, 153B, 153C, 153, 153D in case of search or requisitions conducted on or before 31st March 2021. As we have already discussed in the earlier provisions that in case of search and seizure operations on or after 1st April 2021, new provisions of the reassessment will be applicable. Now the next section is 150. According to section 150, there is no time limit for issuance of notice under section 148 in certain cases. According to this section, there is no time limit as mentioned under section 149 for issuance of notice under section 148 on account of directions of any appellate authority in relation of any order. कोई भी अपीलेट अथॉरिटी ने कोई डायरेक्शंस दिए किसी भी ऑर्डर में, जो हाई कोर्ट या फिर आईटीएटी या फिर सीआईटी अपील ने कोई भी ऑर्डर पास किया है और उसमें कोई डायरेक्शंस दिए हैं रिगार्डिंग फॉर रीओपनिंग ऑफ केस ऑफ एनी एसएससी, in that case there is no time limit, time bar on the time limit as mentioned under section 149 of the act. However, there is a overriding provision. However, in case where the time limit for taking any action for assessment or reassessment has elapsed at the time of passing order, which is a subject matter of appeal, no notice can be issued under section 148. Means at the time of passing the order, which is the matter of appellate authority, which is subject matter of appeal, at the time of passing such order by the assessing officer, if the time limit for issue of notice in case of an assessee was already elapsed, then no notice can be issued under this section also. So the next section is now the specified authority for the purpose of section 148 and 148. So before issue of notice under section 148, the assessing officer is required to take approval from the prescribed authority. And who is the prescribed authority? So in case of issue of notice before the expiry of 3 years from the end of relevant assessment year, it is principal commissioner or principal director or commissioner or director. Further, in case of issue of notice before the expiry of 10 years and after the expiry of 3 years, it is principal chief commissioner or principal chief director or chief commissioner or chief director. So these are the prescribed authority. After taking their approval only, the notice can be issued under section 148. Further, what is the time limit for completion of proceeding under section 149? So there is no change in this section. The time limit for completion of proceeding under section 147 shall be within 12 months from the end of the financial year in which the notice was under section 148 was served. So friends, this is all we need to discuss about the new set of provisions for reassessment and assessment in the case of search and seizure. So if you have any query regarding these provisions, so you can send me a text message, or also you can mention the same on the comments. So friends, I hope you like my video, and if you have not subscribed my YouTube channel yet, so please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks.